guys, let's talk about some reading. We're beginning a new story today, but your phonics skill is diphthong OI, diphthong OY. It is two letters, but it doesn't make one true sound like a digraph. A digraph makes one sound. The diphthong makes your mouth move two times. So when you use OI and OY, you say oi. Look at the vowel, or listen for the vowel sound in each of these words. Moist, choice, oyster, enjoy, joints, loyal, rejoice, soybean, noises. What sound do you hear in each word? You should say oi. And what letters do you see in each of these words that make the oi sound? Well, I see O-I, O-I, O-Y, O-Y. You guys already know this one. It's not new. It's a review. But I just need you to remember that O-I and O-Y say oi. It doesn't necessarily follow a spelling rule. We usually think of O-Y coming at the end, but I can promise you there will seldom ever be a time that you will use O-I at the end of a word. It will normally be O-Y. Now let's look at the words in the answer box. Joints, moist, noises, oyster, soybean. Loud blank, like thunder, frighten my dog. Well, thunder makes a loud noise. So loud noises. Number 2, the ground is still blank from last night's rain. Well, my ground was this way this morning when I got up, and I actually fertilized it so I can hopefully get rid of some weeds and grow in some more grass. The ground is still moist because we had some rain during the night. A large pearl was found inside the shell of an... Well, one of these things up here makes shells, and I do believe it is an oyster. It takes that tiny grain of sand and somehow turns it into a beautiful oyster. Your knees, elbows, and knuckles are they joints or are they soybeans? And I think that they are joints because it's where your bones come together, usually with something called a ball and socket. Many food products are made from the blank plant, and that would be soybean. And if some of my guys were here with me, they could probably tell me foods that we get from soybeans. Now, your targets today are, I can read the stanzas of a song, I can identify how the main character shows she loves God, I can identify how the main character shows God's love to others, and I can recognize characteristics of a biography. And if you think back, we've talked about biographies in the past, and a biography is a story that is written about a person, and it is a true story about a true person. Everything is true. Well, your vocabulary words are boarding school, caged, precious, sober, and these are your sentences. When Cindy was 10 years old, she traveled away from home to attend a boarding school. You don't live at home, you live at a school away from your family. I don't know if I would like that or not. She stopped laughing when she saw the blank look on her mother's face. When you look at your mom, and you can tell that she's not laughing, but she has a serious look. Another word for that is sober. Being in the small room made me feel like a blank bird. If it's small and you feel cramped and you feel closed in, you are probably feeling caged. Diamonds are blank jewelry worth a lot of money. And the answer is precious because there aren't a lot of them. Now, this is a story, it's called Let Me Sing, about a lady whose name is Frances Havergal. And she was a Christian hymn writer and she dedicated her life to Jesus Christ, and her story is an inspiration to Christians. She was a poet and a hymn writer. We met 2 other poets in our history lesson last week. She was born in England, as was one of our poets in our history lesson, in 1836, and her father was a minister. At an early age, she showed a talent for writing poetry, performing music, and learning languages. After Frances trusted Christ as her Savior, she committed her life to His service. She is best known for the hymns, "Take My Life and Let It Be," and "I Gave My Life to Thee." The words, "Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee," express her desire to use her money, talents, and education to honor and glorify Christ. Now, I don't know how many of you sing that song in your churches, but when I was a young girl, my church did sing "Take My Life and Let It Be." That was back in the day, so to speak. Now, we all sing hymns at church. Today, some of us sing with more instruments than what most of us grew up used to hearing. But if you look at page 62 in your text, you will see a sheet of music, and you've seen something similar to this in your music folders that Mr. Cowart gives you. Well, each one of these lines of music is called a stanza, and you guys know you read the first line on the top, first line in the middle, first line on the bottom, and then you go back up and you start again. So this song, if you look, has 4 stanzas because there are 4 lines. Whose name is written here? Well, Frances R. Havergal. She is the author of this song. That means she wrote this song. And on the opposite side of the page, you see the name Henry A.C. Milan, and that means he was the composer. He's the one that came up with the tune or the melody that gives you the sound that this song makes. Every song has an author that writes it and a composer who comes up with the music. If you look at the title page, Let Me Sing, Frances Havergal, and it gives you the date that she was born and the date that she passed away, and it tells you that it is a biography of her life. And you know, in your book you'll be able to see this better than me, but it says the biography is by Eileen M. Berry, and it was illustrated by Paula Cheadle, and that means that Miss Berry wrote the words and Miss Cheadle drew the pictures. In this story, you will learn about Frances Havergal, and in this passage, I want you to read to find out why did Frances write the hymn, "Take My Life and Let It Be." You're only going to read part 1 today, and when you get to the end of part 1, you're going to answer some questions that I have typed in the lesson plan for your parents to ask you, and then you're going to complete workbook pages 281 and 282. One is informational text, and the other is the phonics skill, diphthong OI, diphthong OY. And I know you're going to do an awesome job. It is a little bit long, so please take your time. There's a lot of interesting information in the passage. It also kind of compares her 2 settings, like the story that you read last week about the secret place. Have a good read, learn something, and I hope you have a break during the day to get a little bit of rest, but to rejuvenate that brain so you can finish the rest of your lessons. Love you guys.